Okay, hello, YouTube, Scamp the Wolf here, and I'm going to show my Architect CD collection, and I thought I'd just do this for fun's sake, so for the sake of having fun, because I did want to have more uploads on the channel, even if they're streams and all that stuff, so yeah, hold on a second. Now I have all 9 of Architect's albums. I don't have that one live album though, like that, but it's hard to, like the DVD or whatever it was they released after Daybreaker. I have all 9 of their main studio albums here, and if they do release a more widespread live album, I'll probably get that too. So let's just begin right at the top with their debut album, Nightmares. This one did not have Sam Carter as the vocalist. Matt something was I don't remember who the vocalist who the there that's the back. There you go. That's the back end. And this was more along the lines of mathcore, and this was very hard to get, but I got it for a good deal on eBay a couple months ago. Actually, a few months ago. I'll open this up, show this. Please excuse the banging that's going on. I think my sister's doing something right now. So that's Architect's Nightmares. I remember songs like This Confession Means Nothing and You Don't Walk Away from Dismemberment and A Portrait for the Deceased and The Darkest Tomb. Those, I think, are the tracks I do remember from this album, but this is clearly not one of their best. So, yeah, so this isn't my favorite Architect. I don't think it's anyone's favorite, but it is a good starting point to see where they would go. Next up is my least favorite Architect album. This has always been my least favorite. Ruin. This one was a little bit easier to get, but I held off until I got Nightmares in order to get it. There we go. And the back. And the CD itself. And the Bury at Sea and Hunt Them Down are both good tracks, but the rest, aside from Broken Clocks and maybe Northlane because obvious reasons, the vocals. This was Sam Carter's first go. I will give it a little bit of levity for that reason because it was his first album and it took him a little bit of time for him to get better and better and better at his craft. But actually, it took like less than that because the next album he did a good job. Spoiler alert! But yeah, this is my least favorite. I couldn't really get into this one as much. So, Ruin. Next up is the album I was previously alluding to, Hollow Crown. This is one of their best albums, easily. It is a heavy one. It's raw. It's angry. It's complex, and it's good. Is my opinion on it. Definitely recommendable to. If you want to get into Architects' early stuff, this is the album to go. This is my second favorite Architects album ever. There's so many good songs: "Follow the Water," "And Elegance," "Borrowed Time," "Every Last Breath," "One of These Days," "Dead March," title track, even "Early Grave" I think is pretty good. The whole album is great. Definitely a step above Ruin in my opinion, and definitely one of their best. So, Hollow Crown by Architects. It's coming in as their third studio album. Next up is an album that isn't as good, and then it's widely regarded as one of their worst, and that is The Here and Now. And this is second to worst, in my opinion, behind Ruin. This album, like, I try to be, like, kind of, like, cool. Like, I try to be, like, okay, this is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, but it's. I don't come back to this album that much, to be honest. There's a lot of songs on it. A lot of it just feels very standard, very like streamlined, kind of, sort of. Like I like Day in Day Out a little bit, and I like Heartbird is kind of eh, and Red Eyes is good, but the rest is just kind of there. To be honest, it's not as good as Hollow Crown, and I appreciate this being a different album for them, but it's just not their best attempt at doing that. I think they tried too early with the more accessible kind of things, so they would nail it with it like later in their career, as you'll see. So that's Here Now by Architects. And before we continue, did you notice the hat? I got that today through Amazon, and it's very good. I'm trying out this new look. So, and it's one of those where it's like a little bit like this. So I'm gonna try this out. So I'm going for a different look. I don't want to look like I'm some homeless person. So thought I'd mention that before we go on to our next album in the Architects discography. Album number 5 from them is Daybreaker. And this was kind of hard for me to get as well because I kind of wanted to go like down. Like I started with their most recent album at the time, and I collected like the one before that, and like I wanted to collect Daybreaker because I had like 3 Architects albums, and so this one I did not have yet, and I'm glad that I do have it. I got this last year. This was also their last album on Century Media, and it has Architects UK because I don't know, they just said Architects UK on it, I guess. And here's the disc itself. I got this on eBay, and it was sealed when I think it was sealed when it was on eBay. I think it was because I had to replace the case, and now it's in a different case. So yeah, this isn't one of their best either. It's a return to form from the Here and Now, which was like kind of a misstep. But like this is tracks like Alpha Omega rather, and Daybreak, and some other songs like even the Ollie Sykes feature on Even If You Win You're Still a Rat. They're good, but I don't know, there's just not enough punch to this album as there is on Hollow Crown, in my opinion. I did rank the Architects discography on my DeviantArt page if you're interested in that. As if you're interested in looking at that little like rank thing I did. I don't plan on doing any more written ones. I plan on having a ranked series where I rank an album where I rank a discography of a band. So if you want to see that, definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is probably in the lower tier for me with albums like The Here and Now, Ruin, and Nightmares. So Daybreaker, this is probably my 6th or 7th favorite. So yeah, just letting you know, this is Daybreaker by Architects. Next up, we have which one is I think one of their best. We have Lost Together, Lost Forever, and this is a step in the right direction, definitely. Like it's heavy, but it also like has more of a punch, and it sees the band doing a little some interesting things on here. The opening track, Gravedigger, is great, like intense and all that stuff. So there's that. But you also have tracks like Dead Man Talking, which was the first song that I actually heard and latched onto by the band Architects. Just letting you know. Colony Collapse, that's a great song. Naysayer is also decent. Distant Blue is good. There's a lot of good songs on Lost Together, Lost Forever. And there's also the song Cancer, Cancer. It's like abbreviated, isn't it? Whatever. So it's Architects, Lost Together, Lost Forever, easily in the top five, easily in the higher tier. Like even if it's just like at in the top four, because I don't really think it's as good as their top tier material, but it's still great. Definitely give this a try if you like progressive metalcore and all that stuff. Next up is another one of their best, and it's definitely in the top three in my favorites for this band. All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. And funny story, at first I didn't like this album because I wasn't into Architects at the time. I heard this, so I was like, oh, this is just a replica of Lost Together, Lost Forever. But when I got into Architects through the next album, um, I listened to it and I was like, okay, I can really get behind this now because this is really good. It's really, it takes everything that Lost Together, Lost Forever had and improves upon it and makes something better. And there's no track listing on the back. The track listing is actually in the booklet itself, which is right here. Now, Nihilist, you see, that's the opening track, and that's a great track. You also have Gone with the Wind and The Empty Hourglass and A Match Made in Heaven. Those are good songs. Gravity, From the Wilderness, and Memento Mori. Those are good songs. Definitely good. Like, I don't think there's very many weak spots on this album. Like, to be honest, this is a very good progressive metalcore album. Like, definitely in the higher like tier of their stuff of their materials. So, Architects, all our gods have abandoned us. Next up is my absolute favorite Architects album. This was the first one I ever got. This one here is Holy Hell. And there's no way around it. This is easily their best work to date. This is easily one of the best albums of the decade. And the label just says Architects on but the spine just says Architects. And the title Holy Hell is right here on it's easily their best. Easily, in my opinion. That's disc and stuff like that. And the booklet. This is a digipack. This is the first time they've done an album in digipack format. Let's see if I can find a track listing though. If not, I'll have to just find it on Spotify. And the booklet opens up to like a poster and all that stuff. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to damage anything on the CD or anything like that or the booklet. Let's just have to read the track listing off Spotify because unlike the last couple of albums, the track listing you can't really find it on here, which is fine. But like, I would need in instances like this, like you need to have something in front of you in order to actually know it. Because I do know the tracks, I'm not stupid or anything like that. So if you think I am stupid, whatever. But yeah, so holy hell. Royal Beggars is my favorite Architect song of all time, easily. And you also have Death is Not Defeat, which is very moving and heavy and all that stuff. Hereafter, Mortal After All, Modern Misery, Damnation, Dying to Heal, The Seventh Circle, Doomsday, A Wasted Hymn. All those are good songs. Even the title track is good. Even though it's not my favorite, it's never been my favorite on the album, but it's still good. It still contributes to the album. And that's what a good title track should do. So, there's I don't need to talk any more about this. You should know that it's great. Definitely pick this up. And next, we have their most recent album, For Those That Wish to Exist. And I did do an unboxing for this on YouTube. Go check that out if you're interested. And this is my favorite Architects album. This is like fifth favorite. Now, because I haven't come back to it as much as I did Holy Hell when it came out. Like, it's I don't know, it's just like I will say that it is very good. It did what Here and Now tried to do and failed, and that is make an accessible album. And this album does that so well, and the concept is so good about like environmentalism. Or I think it's in. I could be wrong, but it's always about environmentalism and stuff like that with these guys. But like, I mean, like trying to save the world is like before like it's a big thing. I don't want to get too much into that, but like, yeah, definitely good stuff. Animals and Black Lungs are definitely worth checking out. Go check them out. And Impermanence is also very good with the Parkway Drive lead singer, which I have had an interest in getting into Parkway Drive before. I've known about him for years, but I never got around to doing it. I might do it. Mike Kerr of Royal Blood on Little Wonder, and Simon Neil of Biffy Clyro on Goliath. And those are good songs, definitely good. I think the biggest problem is that there's a lot of songs that sound similar, like Meteor and like Libertine. The writing is great on all the tracks, but like it just doesn't grab you like in any way. Like I'm not really moved by tracks like Dead Butterflies or like I said, Libertine or in Meteor, and especially Flight Without Feathers, which probably the even an Ordinary Extinction is kind of just middle of the road. But like I do like songs like Discourse is Dead. I like Giving Blood, which is decent. I like Goliath, Demigod. Those are good songs, and of course the Dying is Absolutely Safe and the closing track, and the three big highlights: Black Lungs, Animals, and Impermanence. Impermanence might be my favorite song on For Those That Wish to Exist. So, yeah, definitely good stuff. So, that's For Those Who Wish to Exist, and that is the end of the stream. What do you think of Architects? What do you think of these albums? These albums right here. You like them? You don't like them? Which one is your favorite? Which one is your least favorite? Let me know down in the comment section down below. This is Scamp the Wolf, signing out. Take care.